Okay, it's recording, I guess. Let me see if it's grabbing the video.
Does that?
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I mean, I am going to post it because I do like having the. I just do like I like have doing this, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Again.
anyway, just so people know, we are reacting to a reaction of Doug Walker's Sailor Moon review. So there you go. That's all the
It's not really a reaction. It's more of a review.
a review or a review.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just keep going.
Mean that something like Transformers is a true story then?
Alright, I know I've been putting this on pause a lot, but here's another problem. Doug is going on this confusing exposition on what Sailor V is supposed to be. We even see Serena bring her up a few times. But it's clearly Sailor Venus, one of the Sailor Scouts. Why is this an issue? Because later in the episode, Doug talks about how the disguises don't work on the Sailor Scouts. So he's complaining about the disguises being obvious, but he's unable to recognize Sailor Venus herself. It's really not that hard to figure out. It's actually pretty common knowledge if you've seen the opening, to the point that you don't even have to read the prequel manga. All you have to do is remove the mask and boom, it's Mina wearing one of the...
There's a prequel manga of this?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's not really necessary, to be honest.
Okay.
Sailor Scout uniform.
You know what? Hold on. Let me do something for the recording.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take out the display capture, and I'm just going to capture the game. I'm just going to capture Minecraft.
Okay.
Because I don't want, like, when I switch screens and stuff, I don't want that to just, you know.
That's fine.
Minecraft. Okay. Great, my Minecraft just crashed.
Oh well.
It's okay. Is the server still working?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's okay. My computer is gonna implode.
That's fine. We don't need to film it actually. I changed my mind.
I mean, I wanna film it. It's funny. I like getting pissed on camera.
Yeah, I just like getting. How do you say? This documented. You know.
Sure.
I like talking to you.
Yeah, well, me too.
Yeah.
Well, you just want to listen to this later. It's like, yeah, that was a good talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start the video up again.
Mm-hmm.
Doug not see this. The picture is literally right in front of him. He just finished talking about the opening sequence and he doesn't even see a resemblance between Venus and Mina? This is a mistake that a child could have avoided making. How exactly did Doug even miss this?
Because he's stupid.
Involved in the episode's editing, he was practically given dozens of chances to recognize how Sailor V is Mina, and he just blew every single one of them. Look, Doug, I know that expecting you to be competent at this kind of thing is wishful thinking at this point, but maybe if you paid more attention to the episode that you said that you watched, which I'm really starting to doubt at this point, you would have been able to answer your own question. Maybe you're just too blind as a bat to even notice. So after that, we get to the scene where Serena learns how to use her powers after talking with Luna. Doug begins to comment on it, and try to bear with me, folks, because this is where things get really
Oh no.
creepy.
And of course, the miniskirt. The mini skirt.
Yeah. So.
The costume choice that in no way enables her to fight better, but sure does force her to squat a lot. Okay,
Christ.
so take out the fact that's obviously in no way battle armor. Take out the fact that's obviously fan service. Take out the fact that just like He-Man, somehow removing more clothes bizarrely disguises them. Though to be fair with both these outfits, is the face really the first thing you're going to be looking at? Take all that away and just tell yourself, this obviously sexualized transformation that takes up
obviously sexualized.
Obviously sexualized.
Obviously, look at how sexy this girl is.
You
I
can
am fucking wet right now.
you can see that snatch. You can see the nipples poking through. Yeah.
Bruh, you can see her fucking ankles.
Oh my god, scandalous. She is obviously never going to find a suitor before she is of the age of marriage.
Yeah.
God.
And the thing about her not fighting better with this, this is basically like a ice skating outfit. Basically, she can move quite well with this. She can fight really well.
I guess, I mean.
It's a skating outfit.
Yeah, I don't care, to be honest. It's like, what does it matter? It's a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
It's not a big fucking deal. Why are you okay? Hold on. First things first, right? I don't expect Doug to know this because Doug is not a very bright person.
Yeah.
But it's a magical girl show,
Yes.
like it's magic.
Yes.
Besides, it's not fucking real, my guy.
Yeah. Who cares? Like, it's just those people looking. Oh my god, her boobs are so big. Her back must be hurting. It's a cartoon.
It's
It doesn't have a back. It doesn't have bones.
it's just a silly. It's just silly. It's just fun. It's just stupid. It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
Like, why are you going into a fucking anime expecting realism? That's something that okay, hold on. If someone ever watches this, I'm gonna piss someone off with this, but
Oh boy.
I hate this. This is something that Americans do a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, his sword is so big. Oh my god, how can he swing that? Because he's strong, okay? Because he's strong.
It is 100% a Western thing. I don't care if anybody watching this is mad. It's a Western thing. I've never ever seen like someone like okay, that's actually a lie. I'm pretty sure there are people out there who are like that, like in Brazil, for example. But most people don't give.
Don't
a fuck.
dox yourself, babe.
No, fuck. Okay. I mean,
In Brazil or or Germany or whatever.
okay, yeah. You can cut this off. Whatever. We're not live.
I'm not gonna add it. I'm a lazy fuck.
Bruh, come on.
I don't, babe. I'm lazy. I'm lazy.
But okay, fine. Then não post this. A creeper.
Kill the creeper.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're watching the thing. Okay. Oh yeah, no. Going back to what we were talking about, dude. It's like a Western thing. It's like, who cares about realism? Realism, unless it is needed somehow for the story, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like it's already established in the story that like magical powers exist.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
God. Fucking brainlet take, I swear to God.
Yeah. Jesus.
It's kind of refreshing to know that ever since ever, Doug has just brainlet takes.
Yes.
That never changed.
Yep.
Anyway.
Happens to a 14-year-old girl. Yeah, forgot that for a second, didn't you?
No, I
This
didn't.
show are and always have been 14 years old.
So,
Yeah.
14 years old.
Oh my god. This goes on for a while.
14 years old. 14. Damn! Years
fucking lord! There is literally so much wrong with this couple of seconds that I could write a book about it. First of all, the transformation scenes are not fan service. Like, at all. There's no jiggling boobs or perverted gleams in these transformations. The focus is put on the outfits and accessories the Sailor Scouts wear for battle. Their movements don't even imply any sort of fan service. They're
Yeah.
poses and well-choreographed movements that
It's like dancing.
ready to kick some butt. The sound design fits the visual aesthetic, the music has a good beat to it, and the art style is smooth and really elegant. That's not sexualized, that's fucking badass. Doug seems to think that these transformation scenes are just perverted strip teasing, because yeah, putting on clothes is definitely what counts as strip teasing. The Twilight movies had more strip teasing. Second, what the hell is wrong with you? You clearly stated that these characters are 14 years old, and you're still fawning over how attractive they look in these transformations. How has this been up for almost 6 years, and no one has ever bothered to bring it up? Were you people really that distracted by his utterly unfunny jokes and utterly unintelligent reviews for so long that a brony in 2019 had to be the one to bring this up? And don't even think about
Yeah,
giving me
that's
that
sad.
it was a joke bull crap, because this directly ties into his top 11 sexiest animated women video. He literally brings it up in the episode itself. And then it's followed by him trying to explain how he not only didn't know how Serena was 14 years old, but because he didn't know how old she was, that makes it okay.
But, of course, all this talk about Sailor Moon being a sexy 14-year-old pinup is all building up to one
It's not a pinup.
Given this information, why did I still...
It's not a pinup.
Yeah.
She's not a sex idol. She doesn't do sexy things. She's just a silly girl.
Yeah, that says more about him than the show.
Dude, another thing, look, another thing that bothers me about brainlets watching anime, specifically Western brainlets,
Yes.
why are they always obsessed with children?
Because they want something to, like, quote unquote, fight for. Fight for in the way that doesn't really involve any initiative or donating any money to actual, like, charities that protect children, but they just want to look almighty. Like,
Got-
oh, look at me. I have self-control. I look at this drawing of a child and I go, no, don't sexualize this.
Dude,
Look at me, I'm so righteous.
it's always like that. It's always the same stupid shit. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter. It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate,
real.
look, I hate people that take cartoons way too seriously, because
Uh-huh.
ultimately what it amounts to is that they
They see things that are not there.
no, the line, for some reason, the line between reality and fiction blurs itself.
Yeah.
It's always like that. And it's stupid every single time you see it. It's like, oh yeah, a character that's 14 is getting, I don't know, it's getting beat up. It's like, yeah, so?
Yeah.
There's a reason for it, probably to show that the world is shit or something.
Yeah. Like, no actual child is being harmed.
Yeah, this sort of, like, seriously, this sort of argument is the same argument that people make for, like, video games. It's like, oh, you can't play violent video games, you're going to become a school shooter. It's like, no. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's like conflating reality with fiction. It's always stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. I mean, do think that, like, it's kind of weird to have, like, lolly hardcore porn, but, like, put that lolly hardcore porn in the same level as actual child porn with real children is so grossly irresponsible. Like, it's so irresponsible compared to, there's an actual child being harmed and the other doesn't exist.
Yeah. Anyway.
Here in the
stupid.
Dude, I don't know if it's a joke or not, right? And it really does. It really doesn't matter because here's the point. Here's my counterpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
because you're seeing things that aren't there. They're not sexy. They're not sexy.
Exactly.
They're just wearing a schoolgirl uniform.
Yeah. If you think schoolgirls are sexy, that kind of says a lot about you.
Yeah, that's mostly you, dude.
Yeah. That's where it all comes back to. It's a you thing.
It's like for real. I'm not joking. I've watched Sailor Moon, not a whole lot, but when I was a kid, I watched it a little bit. I never looked at the girls and thought like, man, these chicks are hot. Like, to be honest, I myself didn't watch it because when I was younger, I thought these kinds of things were for chicks.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, this is boring, it's just a girl show. And I didn't watch it. Like, I didn't think it was sexy. I think it was girly.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
But aren't you?
Doug
You
begs
can't
to
just
differ.
say-
Doug is stupid.
You're gonna see what I mean. Christ is gonna come. The worst is yet to come.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Say that you didn't know how old she was and used that as an excuse. That's not how it works, you fucking idiot. And for that matter, you seriously couldn't tell that Serena was a teenager? For the love of God, I was a dumb little kid when this show came out, and even I could tell she was a teenager.
This guy's angry.
The conclusion that she was a woman is a mystery to me.
I mean, I'm angry too.
Telling us that you can recognize a girl's sexual history or age just by looking at them? You can't. You can't. That's like telling people you can recognize someone's ethnicity or race just by looking at them. It doesn't work.
Wouldn't you have made that guess? Come on, look at the way they're showing them off. I swear, officer, I mean audience.
Did he really just say that? No. He couldn't have. He really couldn't have. He did not just say that.
I swear, officer, I mean audience. 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 I had no idea their real age.
Okay, that's it. This is where
I mean, to be fair, right? It is a joke.
I mean, yeah.
Like, this guy is also kind of hyper fixating on it's just a retarded joke.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's supposed to be self-aware. And being self-aware doesn't make it all right. Okay, yeah, I understand that. But it's like, okay, yeah.
You
It's not a big deal.
a little too much on this part. I agree.
draw the line. Remember that stuff I said at the beginning? How he called Sailor Moon jailbait the show at a convention? How a lot of the jokes he makes in his reviews are based on how he sees the movie or the show in real life? Because that's literally how Doug Walker sees Sailor Moon. He sees it as jailbait. Did he seriously not take a moment to think about how people would see that? Did he really not see this as a problem? Did he simply not understand how this would look really, really bad on his end? He just made a bunch of snarky remarks about how he thought Sailor Moon was sexually attractive without knowing how old she was, then proceeds to make jokes about finding them attractive in this episode anyway, even calling the show jailbait after he did this review, and just didn't care at all about how gross it actually was.
A 14-year-old girl acts stupid, uses magical powers to look slutty and stupid.
40 damn! Years old. I swear, officer, I mean audience, I had no idea their real age.
FBI open up.
Wouldn't it be easier if we just watched the original video?
Maybe, but he makes some good points that I kind of want to watch again. It is enjoyable despite everything.
Yeah, I know. I'm not shit talking the dude. The dude makes good points. I'm just saying that, like, if we were to react to this, it would be easier to just watch the original.
Walker, you are such
I-
a fucking creep!
There's some points that he makes that I want to expand on.
Okay. For the sake of my sanity, let's forget about the whole 14 years old thing and rewind a couple of moments back. So, what else is there to talk about?
Now, before any of you find this incredibly creepy, let me make one thing perfectly clear. The
Here we
age
fucking
of
go.
consent in many parts of Japan is, in fact, 13 years old.
So,
Now you may find it incredibly creepy.
Mwah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, if you thought this episode wasn't problematic before, then you're in for a serious wake-up call. This is where Doug proceeds to talk about consent laws in Japan and
Why?
sexuality in general, and it comes across as
I don't know.
really out of left field.
Just does.
Aside from just being not needed at all, it
Yeah.
takes a good chunk of the review just to show how little Doug knows about what he's actually talking about. And while I am aware
I mean, to be honest, okay,
Oh,
when does Doug know anything of what he's talking about?
yeah.
Like anything that is like minimally outside of his scope of knowledge is just completely fucking like every video that he doesn't know much is just terrible.
Yeah. Price, he just straight up pauses the review to talk about consent laws in Japan.
God,
He actually did this.
why does this matter?
Because I have no idea. I think he's coping really hard.
Cope harder.
I mean, if you find a fictional character that is so happens to be underage sexy, that's not really a problem.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
dude, come the fuck on.
It's like he's like he's fighting his own brain at this point, you know?
Yes.
It's like we're watching a man. It's like Twitter. It's like you're watching a man creating his own enemy and fighting it.
Yes.
It's like, God, this is stupid.
Yeah.
that Japan does have problems with this kind of stuff, what makes you think Doug has any better knowledge about it? And aside from that, why would anyone even want to see that? Seriously, going to an episode of Nostalgia Critic to learn about sex is like going to Quentin Reviews for political commentary.
God.
Warranted, uncomfortable, and it just comes right the hell out of nowhere. But let's try breaking it down into more detail. Firstly, he says that the transformations look slutty just because they have miniskirts and they show off their legs. Because according to Doug, no woman or girl...
Okay, hold on. Before we go further, have you ever watched a Quentin review?
Yes.
God, this movie, his videos are so bad.
His videos are boring.
Yeah, they are.
It's him sitting in front of a camera and talking. There's nothing interesting going on. And I saw the famous clip of him going, "Yeah, I think Trump sucks."
I mean, it's not even like about him sitting in front of a camera and nothing going on. He has nothing good to say. Like all of his points are just nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jesus.
in the history of the human race has ever worn a miniskirt or something that makes their legs visible. What about these pictures of ballerina dancers and figure skaters? What about these pictures of Katana and Melina from Mortal Kombat? Are they supposed to be dressing as slutty just because they have miniskirts or wearing something that shows their legs? Just because something comes across as revealing doesn't automatically make it slutty. It's called context, which is something that he didn't take into account with these transformation scenes. He also mentions how the sexualization of girls in media doesn't teach people about sex and is only doing it to exploit it for profit. But there's a problem with that. Doug just said that looking like this, or this, regardless of the context behind it, automatically makes you look slutty, which is just painfully sexist in every way that you look at it. He's making an extremely broad assumption based solely on looks without any actual first-hand knowledge on the subject. It's like he's blaming the girls for looking slutty instead of himself for taking it as slutty without said context. It's not my fault I think Sailor Moon looks slutty. She's wearing a miniskirt and revealing her legs. I mean, what else am I
Only
supposed to
didn't
take
dress
away
so
from the scene where he's
slutty.
being turned?
what?
If only they didn't dress like fucking whores. They didn't have raped them.
I wouldn't have these thoughts about putting my pee-pee in them. It's all their fault. It's not my fault my pee-pee got hard.
You're basically asking for it.
Oh man. What is Doug even, man?
Sad, sad little man.
Basically.
Yeah.
Done by the transformations and the ramble about how he didn't know she was 14. He's just reinforcing the belief that it's Sailor Moon's fault that he didn't bother to look up basic information on the character. Then it gets worse when he not only blames Sailor Moon, but also starts talking about how we should be blaming Japan for his fuck-up. You see, Japan is the creepy one because their age of consent is 13. They're the ones to blame for Doug calling a 14-year-old slutty and thinking the transformation scenes are fan service strip teasing. Which is strange because throughout this whole ramble, Doug doesn't seem to take America's consent laws into account. While it's true that the US consent law is higher at 16 years old, they still have the same close-in-age exception as Japan. And while Japan does have a club where you can pay to grope women dressed in school outfits and business sets, you can literally do the same thing in America and just hope the woman doesn't come after you. It's called roleplay. Also, there's this bit.
Sex between 13 to 17-year-olds can only be done with other 13 to 17-year-olds.
That's good.
However, that's only sex. Groping, handjobs, blowjobs, and whatever else your preferred imagination can come up with is all perfectly legal.
That's bad. Did Doug Walker, a man in his 30s, really just say that handjobs and blowjobs are outside of sex? I really don't need to explain what's wrong with that, do I? Nah, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Blowjobs are a form of oral sex. Just because it's not vaginal doesn't mean it's not explicit. And the same thing goes for handjobs.
Why do we need to talk about this?
The penis is still being stroked
Yeah.
by something. How do you not get this? Did you just not take a sex ed
Doug
class?
don't
You
brought
don't
it
even
out.
need a sex ed class to know that blowjobs and handjobs are explicit forms of sex. This man is literally so goddamn stupid that he thinks oral sex doesn't count as sex. This asswipe has 1 million subscribers and I don't. So following the ramble on Japan's sex laws and the dreaded I didn't know she was 14, good God, why is any member of my species still supporting this idiot after that? We get a sketch about Doug remembering his younger self and his experiences with Sailor Moon. And I want to let you guys know right now that this is by far one of the worst sketches in the entire series.
Oh,
It's
God.
up there with the
Why?
Adam Sandler phone call and the Real Chipmunks movie musical number, as well as the horribly drawn-out Where is the Proof parody from Final Fantasy The Spirit Within, where he also happens to make a joke about Notre Dame burning down only a few weeks after the tragedy. Seriously, does this shit stain even follow his own advice? And it's also another example of his sexist behavior in this episode.
Bro, can I tell you real quick?
Okay.
Remember when you said that when you were a kid, you just didn't watch it because it was too girly for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug begs to differ. He begs to take your experience, throw it in the trash, and be like, no, this is how you were. This is how you acted.
Yeah, I can already tell where this is going already. It's gonna be like super horny or something.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
Oh my god, this is awful.
Turn that back on.
Who said that?
I did.
Penis?
Yeah.
You can talk?
All penises talk around this age. It's the greatest secret no woman knows about, but wouldn't be the least bit shocked to discover.
Yeah. That's not really funny.
Right, to quote Doug himself,
What the fuck am I looking at?
Well, despite what a terrifying discovery this is, I'm still not gonna watch this show.
It doesn't matter what you think. From now on, I'll be calling all the shots. You're gonna see everything in a whole new light.
okay, I am currently questioning every decision I've ever made in my life leading to this moment. Can someone just kill me, please? I know I still have a lot to live for, but I don't want to live with the knowledge that I had to sit through Doug waving his junk at a camera 3 inches away from my face.
What are you talking about?
Look at that show again. Looks damn good now, doesn't it?
Wow. There's more to this show than I thought.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm a mentally capable male. I won't let my penis call all my decisions for me.
Turn that back on, or I'll shoot where the sun always shines.
Okay, when did this turn into South Park? So what I'm getting from this is that Doug is being held hostage by his dick to watch Sailor Moon for its non-existent sex appeal. Because it's still not his fault that he saw Sailor Moon as slutty. I shouldn't
Yeah.
have to tell anyone this, but your penis does not make you do stuff. Sexual urges do not have the ability to hold you hostage to them. This might just be seen as Doug making a really shitty joke, but a fairly big part of society has somehow trained itself to believe that. You know all those commercials, movies, and TV shows that seem to have this aggressive portrayal of the stereotype that men only think about sex and want sex from a woman?
I wonder how much money he makes. I wonder if he loves his mother. I wonder if he'll lose his hair. I wonder if he wants kids. I wonder if he's the one.
I want to sleep with her, 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 I want to sleep. I want a Pepsi Max, I want a Pepsi Max, I want a Pepsi Max.
Not a chance.
Wait, which one? Because that's exactly what Doug is doing here. Men are perverts and only think about getting laid. Men think about sex a lot and it's the primary thing on their mind. Men are perverts who can control their sexual side. It is such a stupid stereotype that has long since overstayed its welcome. It probably started as a joke on some sitcom somewhere, but it has long since stopped being funny. And the fact that Doug is applying that stereotype to Sailor Moon makes it even worse. He's making the assumption that any guy who ever watched this show only ever watched it for its supposed fan service. Something that Doug clearly doesn't seem to understand is that the show wasn't made for teenagers. It was made to be family friendly. And he doesn't consider that people didn't watch it for its sex appeal, but, and I'm just thinking out loud here, watched it for its characters and the story. And the sketch also plays into another stereotypical problem. Given the way he portrays himself and the way that he only thinks Sailor Moon is sexy when she's transforming, he's feeding into the belief that while men are sex-crazed no matter how they're dressed, sexuality in women only exists when they're quote-unquote wearing something sexy. Remember the earlier image where he showed real 14-year-old girls alongside the Sailor Moon transformation? He was clearly doing it to show how real 14-year-old girls aren't sexualized in the way he thinks Sailor Moon was. But Sailor Moon was never being sexualized at any point. So not only does this comparison have no purpose, but it further feeds the sexist idea that because Sailor Moon's outfit looks the way that it does, it must be slutty or fan service. I really don't...
God, dude, hold on. I hate the idea that, like, just because you show, like, the barest hint of, like, a curve or... oh, you see her hips or you see the outline of her boobies. It's like, oh, it's sexualized. It's like, no, dude, that's not what sexualizing is. That's just the human form.
Yeah, like, oh my god, it's just like those posts. There are more posts like this than I wish I had. But like those posts that people like do on Twitter, like, man, they say that their art is safe for work, and yet they draw girls like this, and then they show like a really curvy girl, like with really big hips, but they're not showing any nipples or anything. It's just the big hips and the big boobs. That's not inherently sexual.
Dude, it's like making women wear like wear this hijab, a burqa, whatever. It's so you don't inspire perverted thoughts. That's the same thought process, you know?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's like the female form is gonna make you think things. It's like, no, you're the one thinking things, bro.
Yeah. Jesus, so bad. It's just how women look. That's how a healthy woman looks.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, I was gonna say something before I went into that. It's like, oh, dude, there is such a jump to what sexualization is. Like, you want to know? I think we already have the same thing in mind. Before I even say it, I think you're gonna know where I'm going with this. It's like, you want to know what sexualization is? Bayonetta is sexualization.
Oh yeah.
Bayonetta is in fact sexualized. But here's the thing, that's the point of the character.
Yeah.
The point of the character is that she's sexy.
Oh.
Sorry, what?
What?
What'd you say?
Oh, she's a femme fatale. She uses her sexuality as a weapon.
Exactly, literally, that's a joke.
Yeah, that's a joke. So her hair is the weapon.
Yeah, she's the weapon.
Yes.
God, people are so stupid. Anyway.
Was a good idea, but it really seems to capture the mindset that he made when making this episode. slut-shaming, sexism, encouraging the idea that men are perverts who can't control their sexual urges, so not only is he being sexist towards women, but men as well. Oh my god, he's Kathleen Kennedy 2.0. Mild racism towards Japan, and of course, getting information wrong for the sake of a joke because he thinks comedy is more important. Alright, I've spent more than enough time on this 5-minute segment and I just want to move forward.
So Serena seems shocked that she can now suddenly transform.
This dream is getting weirder and weirder. I'll never study that hard again.
Though weirdly enough, doesn't look the least bit shocked while she's transforming. In fact, I bet she'll keep this exact same calm state every single time she changes.
Well, of course she's not going to be surprised the second time she transforms. She already knows what's coming, so it's not going to catch her off guard.
Speaking of which, there actually is a villain in this series, known as Queen Beryl. Yes, because no name is more terrifying than a wooden container that can bring me alcohol. Actually, you sure she's not the hero?
Beryl is named after a mineral of the same name. It's a type
God, it's not Beryl. It's not Beryl. It's Beryl.
Beryl.
God, dude. Oh my God, dude. They didn't say, dude. There is a difference in pronunciation. One is Beryl, Beryl. The other is Beryl. It's subtle, but I don't think Doug's brain understands subtlety.
Yeah. Damn. Like, to be fair, this is 100% the 19th dub fault. They pronounce all the names wrong. The names that they change, of course.
Oh yeah, they do change the names. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Like Serena. I hate that. That's her name.
Yeah.
Isn't it Usagi? That's her name, right?
Yeah, Usagi.
Do you know what Usagi means?
It means bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me that one.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the deep lore. Do you know why, Bunny?
Why?
You don't know?
Why she's named Bunny?
Yeah.
Because of her long hair that kind of looks like droop bunny ears?
Yes, but not really.
Okay.
Here's the real reason.
Uh-huh.
This might be completely wrong, but I think it's right.
Okay.
There is like a folklore story in Japan about like I might be completely wrong. I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna fill in the blanks and then I'll look at the lore later. But here's what I think it is on my brain. There is a folklore story where, because on the moon, and I think from the point of view of Japan, the craters on the moon seem like there's a bunny on the moon.
Yeah, I heard that one.
And
Bunny in the moon. That's actually Chinese folklore.
it's Chinese.
Yeah.
Is it Chinese? No, I'm gonna Google this. Chinese. No, not. Bunny on the moon folklore. The moon rabbit or moon hare is a mythical figure in Far Eastern folklore who lives on the moon. Based on the pareidolia interpretations that identify the dark markings on the near side of the moon as a rabbit. There you go, I'm a genius.
Yeah, that makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the reason.
It is the reason. There's no other reason.
Yeah, literally no other reason.
I mean, it's called fucking Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Her name is Usagi. Yeah, yeah, it is what it is. I'm a genius. Everybody else can go fuck themselves.
Yes, you're objectively correct.
I mean, in this case, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
It has several varieties like emerald and aquamarine, and it fits because some of the lore of Sailor Moon involves certain types of gemstones.
Does it?
A lot of the villains are named after gemstones and metals because the author of the series, Naoko Takeuchi, majored in chemistry in college. How
Huh.
do you mistake that for a container of alcohol? They're not even spelled the same. Oh, and did I mention that Kyoko Takayuchi is a woman? You know, the sex that you practically spent the last 5 minutes mocking, and not a man who was trying to exploit sex for profit? How's those sexism jokes going for you now? You really didn't bother to do any research on this.
He never does.
She uses her evil minion named Jedite. Too obvious.
Yup, I'm convinced. You didn't bother to do any research on Sailor Moon because if you did, you know that Jedite is named after a gemstone like Beryl is. They weren't just taking stuff from Star Wars to ride on its popularity. And after that horrible Girls Camp...
It's not even... It's not even how we pronounce it. It's not Jadeite. It's not Jadeite. It's Jadeite. It's Jadeite.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Jade.
God, it's so forced. Fucking Doug's jokes are so forced.
Look, bro. Look, I understand that it's a joke, right? But a joke doesn't work if it doesn't come off of a good base.
Yeah.
It's like Jadeite. It's not even the right pronunciation. Whatever. We're stopping this video way too long. Let's just fucking go.
Yes.
Like Star Wars comment you made earlier, I'm pretty sure you have no place to talk about Star Wars. You incompetent moron. Look, I'm not expecting Doug to be an expert on Sailor Moon or anything else he talks about on this show, or really anything he talks about in general, but I'm at least expecting the bare minimum here. Doug should be expected to put more thought, effort, and research into this kind of stuff before putting it out. Because, like it or not, that's what a reviewer is supposed to do. It doesn't matter how you advertise the tone of your review show, as a comedy, satire, or otherwise. You're still expected to give a proper outlook on the subject in question. The purpose of any review is to give an informative analysis on a given work, be it a movie, TV show, episode of a TV show, video game, comic book, or whatever you want to call it. People go to a review because they want an idea of the thing that's being discussed in the video, and you're expected to give a reasonable impression of the thing being discussed. No matter what, you need to correctly inform the audience about the qualities of the property, and if you can't do that, you fail to put out a good review. And this is the primary problem with the Sailor Moon episode. Even without the cringe-inducing sketches, even without the scenes where he misogynistically thinks the transformation scenes are strip-teasing fan service, even without the scene where he tries to defend himself for not knowing how old Serena was, we are halfway into this review and Doug has said absolutely nothing informative, insightful, or educational about Sailor Moon. All he's done is repeatedly get details wrong, put together disgusting jokes with extremely ugly double standards behind them, and wave his junk in front of a camera. I said it before, and I'll say it again. If you want your show to be a comedic sketch series, don't advertise it as a review series.
Yeah.
All you're doing is showing the audience that you care less about informing them about the qualities of a given work, and more about desperately trying to make them laugh at whatever random garbage comes spewing out of your mouth. Because of the priorities being put in making stupid jokes and sketches, Doug doesn't seem to care at all about informing his audience about what people liked about Sailor Moon, which is most likely the reason he gets so many details wrong. And with something with a following as widely spread as Sailor Moon, you can't afford to make this many mistakes. Once or twice is understandable, but when you're doing it for the entire video, it's a pretty good way to turn people away from your content. All you're doing is showing them how little you actually know about the subject, and giving them so many reasons to not take you seriously. This isn't even nitpicking anymore. These are very legitimate problems that are made severely obvious throughout the episode. This entire video feels like the equivalent of a kid being told to do a history report on Theodore Roosevelt, but they didn't bother to do any research on him and just told a story about how he was a pirate, and was black. In fact, why did people even bother to watch Doug's piss-poor review of the series again?
I didn't watch.
Uploaded 3 years ago. Kaluna Reviews did her retrospective on the series around the same time, and she clearly has more knowledge on Sailor Moon than either me or Doug could ever even hope to. Did they really think those disgusting jokes about Doug being turned on by 14-year-old stripteases and not knowing how old Serena was, and waving his dick in people's faces while portraying men as sex hounds were so ingenious and inspired that they needed to see them again?
40 damn! Years old. I swear, officer, I mean audience, I had no idea their real age.
Wow, there's more to this show than I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he does some more talking about the main plot and eventually comments on Serena running away from danger.
Once Luna reminds Serena to use her brain, she goes through her pedalicious transformation and is ready to kick ass.
And look at these hate boners.
corner like a fucking scaredy cat.
Need I remind you that this is the first season of the show? Of course she's going to be scared. The whole fighting evil monsters and aliens.
I mean, doesn't it by the end of the show she just turns into a god or some shit like that?
Yeah, by the end of the first season, she turned into a god, and then by the first episode of the second season, she's already doing just fine.
No, I'm actually like this is an actual thing. Doesn't she actually turn into a god?
Yeah, kinda. She's like a reincarnation of the goddess.
She's a god, okay? She's just god.
No, not god. A goddess.
Whatever, man. She turns really fucking powerful.
All the sailors are goddess. All of them.
Yeah, I know. And that's not my point. My point.
Powers out of nowhere, dude. Come on.
I'm not saying she gets powers out of nowhere. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you crazy?
I don't know why you.
I'm just saying that, like, it's the first time she's doing this shit. Like, by the millionth time, yeah, she's good. She's a god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thinks it's still new to her. And didn't you just finish ranting about how she was 14? Did you really expect her to be 100% fearless against this kind of stuff? Also, portraying Serena as just a coward undermines her character development over time, and several of her defining moments, like when she fought Rubius to protect her daughter, or when she fought against the Sailor Animates to rescue Darien despite going through an emotional crisis.
Well, it'll probably surprise no one that Sailor Moon actually does very little physical fighting in this show, which is no big deal.
Oh my god, physical fighting. It's a magical girl. She uses magic.
Yeah. Right. Most anime magical girls, at least, like, not modern magical girls, back in the day, they were focused more on romance and relationships and the lore behind it. The action was just fight on the side, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. You know what, dude? It's so weird to me, right? Doug, he comes in, like, he knows fucking nothing about what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like the opposite of what a reviewer should do. It's like he comes in, he doesn't know anything, and then he starts like projecting his own ideas into what the show should be. It's like that's not a review.
Yeah.
You're just bashing the show.
Yeah. That's it.
And it's not even a critic also because you're not criticizing it.
Yeah.
Like you're not adding anything to the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Shock if she even raises her knee a centimeter to kick, she exposes her goodies to the world, which in many parts of Japan, of course, is no big problem anyway.
I already talked about why this is a gross double standard, so I'm just gonna go back to what I said earlier.
Most of the fight scenes require her being trapped or stuck in something for probably longer than is needed.
Again, this is the first season.
That's
This is still new to her, and she's...
And that's also done most of the time to make the other sailors shine. That's mostly done when the sailors are being introduced, and then Sailor Moon is like trapped in something, and then they have to awaken her powers and free her. That's the
Because
reason.
friendship.
Yeah.
My friend
Okay, bro.
is in trouble. I need to help her.
Yes.
That's really basic storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised Doug, being a quote unquote critic who quote unquote knows about stories, doesn't know about this.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Actually.
Did I say it was surprised? No, I meant to say like I'm not fucking surprised at all.
Yeah.
That was irony, babe.
Yeah, I know. I got that. I just wasn't being ironic.
God.
still gaining experience.
This is Tuxedo Mask, and yes, it is painfully obvious who it really is. But please don't tell Serena she's not very bright.
Okay, what the fuck? If it was really that easy for you to figure out who Tuxedo Mask is, why couldn't you do the same thing for Sailor V? She was in the opening sequence, and she was in the picture you used in the intro. This guy's ability to decipher disguises must be on par with Ash Ketchum.
The magic tiara isn't her only enchanted.
It's a good joke.
She also has a pen that can change her into anything. Wait, what?
Oh,
It's a very powerful transforming tool. It turns you into whatever you want.
What the fuck is she using that to?
Why does the cat have like a British accent?
I have no idea. That's 100% like just on the 90s dub. Even the Viz dub didn't do that. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, that voice is it's kind of cool in some ways that I won't tell.
Huh. Okay, it's luring.
Yeah, isn't it? I thought it is.
Yeah, I knew it. You're gonna say that I know you.
Did you? You didn't say anything. You're just silent. If you knew it, you should have said it earlier.
No, okay.
You might as well be lying to me.
Okay, bruh.
How did you know? No, you know what? How did you know that I was gonna say that British accent is kind of hot?
That's this second that you said it, I know it kind of makes me feel a certain way that I'm not gonna tell you. Yeah, I know it's about sex.
Obviously, it's about sex. What the fuck? Are you retarded?
No.
Yeah, it's obviously about sex. Doesn't need to be a genius to figure that out. I'm just saying that British accent is kind of hot.
Yeah, that's 100% valid.
No, you know what? I'm gonna go so far as to say, I'm gonna be a man of superior culture and say that accents in general are hot.
Yes,
There you go.
they are. 100% agree.
Men, women, whatever. If you have an accent, it's kind of hot.
Yes.
But anyway, let's watch the rest of this utter stupidity.
By this segment, I have so much to say about this segment. So much.
They didn't give any limitations or anything. They said she can change into fucking anything she wants. Why doesn't she just turn around and be like,
Take on the form of Godzilla.
series over, 6 seasons spared?
This was actually the fault of bad translation, because in the original Japanese version it's called a disguise pen. It doesn't just transform her into literally anything. It was only ever used for disguises to keep herself hidden to better complete missions. I can kind of understand making this mistake.
Hold on. She could disguise herself in order to complete. Well, she looks like the person. She also probably gives them knowledge. Increase on the first season, mission only once, and then to become a messy look like. I don't get it. Is this like used for like clothes, or like she can only turn into like a humanoid?
No, it's just for clothes, and she also like gets slightly taller to make her like seem older.
It's literally like it's that one item you have in D&D where it's like a hat, and if you wear the hat, you get like different clothes basically.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's just for clothes, not a shape-shifting tool.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Usually, when you introduce I'm speaking in fiction in general. Usually, when there is a shape-shifting thing, it's usually like has a lot of restrictions exactly because of that. You know, it's like, yeah, you can only switch to something that's like roughly your size, roughly your build. Like you can't just change into like a. Like if you're Serena, like you can just change into like a muscular man or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Jesus Christ. Can I take a detour just really quickly?
Sure.
I wanna show you how awful it's for kids, because of course it's for kids. The 4Kids dub was in comparison to the new dub that is like made by people who actually gave a shit.
Okay.
Viz dub. Can you like open a new tab and go like Sailor Moon 4Kids dub versus Viz dub?
Okay. Sailor Moon. 4Kids. Dub. 4Kids versus what's the name of the other one?
VIZ.
Viz. Okay.
Yes.
Oh my god. This one?
This one comparison needs to be so long.
Oh my god. No, this is gonna be so long. No, 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 no.
Yeah, no, just take a quick. This one.
This one?
This one. No, down.
This one?
No, down.
This one?
That's the one.
Okay. Oh my god, I don't care. Just show the video.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, here you go.
Look how much it was changed.
I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
Name changes for the main characters. Serena, Zagi, Amy. Okay. Makoto, Lita, and Mina. Ugh.
Yeah.
Chibiusa, Rini, Haruka, Amara. Amara? Michiru, Michelle. Trista?
Krista.
Can we... I want to see the dub.
Yeah.
Or was considered controversial.
What?
To compare, I'll show you a screenshot. Okay. I want to see a clip. Wait, what was the difference? Wait, what?
I think they just turned.
Is it because of the position of like the bus dude? Like the driver position? Is that it?
I think so.
God damn. I don't get it.
I guess it's transition.
I mean, this is not really that bad.
Oh, sorry. I love tuna fish and field mouse pudding.
Major chocolate hit. Yum. I know. Let's take these up to Ray's temple as a peace offering. This is inspired. If there's one thing Ray can't resist, it's anything chocolate.
A flawless 20-carat diamond for you, $10.
20 carats, $10.
I'll just tell Beryl it was an accident.
Hold it! Who's that?
He's a man in the Japanese version.
Oh, Serena. Amara, Michelle.
Fantastic. You're the best cousins in the world.
Cousins.
Cool. What? More school now? Yes, a special computer school, but it's only twice a week.
What the fuck?
I don't understand why. Because they had made up for the lost time that they cut off.
God. Nudity? There was nudity?
Yeah, it's barely visible when they transform.
The size of their chest. What the fuck?
It's not even that big. Come on.
Yeah, they're not big booba.
Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck changed?
The tits. Look at the tits.
Oh my god, dude. Come on. Give me a break.
Right?
It changed nothing.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Ah, you could see the outline of her body under the water. Combined. Ugh. What is even the point, you know?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like if you're not gonna do the thing justice, then why even have the thing in the first place?
Oh, I heard somewhere that like the reason that they specifically this goes to One Piece.
Okay.
What 4Kids did was purchase multiple animes without even checking the content. Like, you know how One Piece is, like the anime.
Yeah, like there's like no cigarettes, and Sanji he
There's
smokes a lollipop, I guess.
Yeah, like they just bought the rights to it without checking it first because they needed something to broadcast on their channel and they didn't check. And when they did check, it was already too late. They already bought it, so they had to censor everything.
Good job.
If they knew about it, they wouldn't have purchased. But they're incompetent.
Yeah, seems like it.
Hmm.
Anyway, side note over.
Yes.
Just going by the Deke dub, but here's the thing. For the grand majority of the review, Doug only ever seems to go exclusively by the Deke dub.
Yeah.
Consideration for the Japanese version. You still have to take into account that this is an American dub of a Japanese cartoon, and mistranslations are actually
I
pretty
wasn't for
common.
kids. It was
Not
big.
too long ago
Sorry.
it was
It doesn't matter. It's still shit.
Yeah, it's still shit.
It wasn't this. It wasn't this shit. It was this other shit. It's like, okay, it's shit all the same.
Yeah, it's just that we searched the wrong thing. That was kind of my fault. Sorry.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I understood the point.
Yeah.
Come on.
revealed that Xehanort's actual plan wasn't to create a world of pure light, but to restart the universe because he thought the current one was too broken to fix. This is an example of how, because Doug goes primarily by the Deke dub without enough context from the Japanese version, he doesn't get all the details. And even if she took the form of Godzilla, I'm pretty sure that the main villain would have some kind of dark magic to blow her up. Making her bigger would make her an easier target.
But nope, she uses it just to don disguises. Which really aren't necessary, seeing how all you have to do is throw on a bathing suit and a napkin over your crotch, and apparently nobody will recognize you.
Again, that's a lot coming from someone who couldn't bother to recognize Sailor V.
The other reincarnations of the Scouts are found over time, usually in the exact same city and often even the exact same school.
But Serena doesn't find them at the same school. While it's true that the rest of the Sailor Scouts are in the same city, Amy was the only one who was attending the same school as her. The other Scouts are more scattered around, and in very different locations. Hell, Sailor Jupiter didn't even move into the city until episode 25.
Jesus.
These are mistakes that Doug could have avoided making by just looking at the screen. But it doesn't even feel like he watched the episodes and just assumed that the rest of the team was found at the same school because they have similar looking uniforms.
So, maybe Jedi should try his evil plans in another part of town.
I mean, it's not like the Power Rangers that can beam anywhere. All this show does is glorify how lazy Serena is.
Serena, a monster is attacking Tokyo! How far away is that? About 10 miles. Hey, it's just Tokyo.
But usually...
Okay, first of all, you show no instances of Serena being lazy. All you did was show one clip of her going to bed. And from the looks of this scene, it's nighttime. So of course she's
Actually,
gonna
can I
go to bed in
explain
her
the
pajamas.
context of the scene?
Sure.
Scene. Luna is the one telling Serena to go the fuck to bed because tomorrow there's a test and she should be more responsible.
Amazing.
So she's not her being lazy. She's literally being told to go the fuck to sleep.
It's freaking. I don't know if you're gonna get the joke, but it's fucking Persona 5 all over again.
Aw, damn. Yeah, I get it.
Do you get it, really?
Yeah, don't they tell you to go to bed?
They?
Supposed to go to bed?
Who's they?
The game.
No, see, you don't get the joke.
Okay.
You see, there's a character in the game which is a kitty cat, which is called It's called Morgana.
Yeah.
And the kitty cat, because you go into people, like that's the whole thing with Persona. Like you go into people's minds and shit. It's always like you're always exploring. It's kind of like you know Psychonauts.
Yeah. Like they go. I know the stick. They
Ye-
go to the people's mind and they fight their demon.
Yeah, you explore the person's like personality. You know, like you understand more of what the person is like through the thing. And in the real quote unquote, world, Morgana is just a kitty cat. Like it's not like the pet. Like the doesn't have the big head. It's just like a kitty. And every single time that it's nighttime and you want to do something, like the cat just go like, go to bed. It's like, but I want to. Nah, you need to go to bed. It's late. And then it's like, okay, you gotta go to bed.
It's funny how perfect this fits.
Yeah, that's why I made the joke.
Okay, I just don't get it now.
It's because the cat is just, hey, Serena, go to sleep, bitch.
Yes.
Huh? Serena, go to sleep. It's like, I don't want to. Go to sleep, Peach. Okay.
Go the fuck to sleep.
Okay, let's go.
Second, this joke doesn't even make any sense. Serena doesn't need to travel 10 miles to get to Tokyo. She lives there. Did you really care so little that you didn't even bother to learn about the character's location?
Yes.
Torture does more research than you.
And yes,
Oh,
even
yeah.
other planets over time join the group as well.
Ooh, except Pluto. You're not a planet anymore.
So what? Sailor Moon is not a planet.
Yeah, he's gonna use that exact same. We're coming full circle.
Like Pluto, it's got. The joke doesn't, dude. The joke doesn't work because again, the basis of the joke doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like the name of the show is Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Moon's not a fucking planet.
God, Doug, you're so retarded.
Yes.
I think that Doug fell on his head when he was a baby or some shit.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But anyway,
I don't know.
Alright, aside from Pluto's not a planet anymore being low-hanging fruit for a joke, there's a bit of a loophole in what he's saying here. So apparently Sailor Pluto can't be a scout because it's no longer a planet. But that would have to mean that Serena, the main character, can't be a Sailor Scout, because the moon isn't a planet either.
Actually, things got kind of interesting with her character, seeing how Uranus and Neptune were cousins in the show, but not in the Japanese version. No, in the Japanese version, they were a couple.
Now who cares about Japanese
When the
version?
review is almost over, does he
sorry, what?
Now he cares.
Yeah. Now the Japanese version is important. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Version, they were a couple.
So only now, when the review is almost over, does he ever bother to use context from the Japanese version? Well, wait a minute. If he did take time to check the Japanese version, how did he miss they said the pen was for disguises and not shape-shifting?
Because he's stupid.
Seriously just being selective on what
Yes.
kind of research you were doing based on whichever jokes you could come up with for this video? This is what I mean by Doug caring more about comedy than actually reviewing something. He just goes by what he thinks is giving him a trip.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like Doug is not a reviewer. He doesn't review things.
Yeah. He stopped caring a long time ago.
Like that's just like that. Because here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order for, at least that's my fucking opinion. In order for you to review something, you need to experience something and give your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, why else would you want to review something if you don't care about that something?
Money.
I mean, yeah, okay, you got a point.
I mean, I think that's to be honest, right? I think that's Doug's entire life at this point. It's like he doesn't really give a shit. He's just going through the motions, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, time to put out another review, get a little bit more money. That's it. That's his entire fucking life.
Yeah. Pretty sad.
Anyway.
For jokes instead of actually informing people about the show. Could you imagine a world where every scientist is replaced with a clown? We'd be sent back to the Stone Age in seconds.
Yeah, kind of funny how we can sex up our 14-year-olds all we want.
Will you stop saying that? How many times do I have to tell you? They were not sexualizing Sailor Moon. It was made to be a family-friendly show, and in several cases was targeted at little girls. What the hell are you trying to tell us, dog? That Kyoko Takeuchi wanted to make a series to teach little girls how to dress up in miniskirts and look slutty? That she was making the transformation scenes for perverted teenage boys? That girls can't like Star Wars? No, I'm not gonna let that go!
So just to
This
check,
guy is so fucking angry.
Gets angry really quickly. That's kind of his stick.
His shtick is that he gets pissed the fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, actually, to be honest, I don't think it's a stick. I think he actually gets angry.
Jesus. Just gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
okay, shame.
Oh, so now you're addressing the double standards of America marketing sex after you spent 5 minutes blaming Japan for it. Yeah, this really would have been nice to have a good 12 minutes ago.
Come on, guys. Maybe you could have worked it into your half-assed PSAs at the end. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention there's PSAs in this show. Obviously slapped on at the end of each episode using the same animation they used before. Because Lord knows, the show hasn't repeated enough animation already.
Yeah, the PSA was obviously really gimmicky, but you have to point out that it wasn't the show's fault. I guess for whatever reason, the 90s felt like there had to be a PSA at the end of
Oh, well, I mean, we already covered that. It's because it didn't have enough runtime.
Yeah, they were too busy censoring a bunch of shit, so they had to cover up somehow.
Great. That's another thing that I hate about, again, Western media.
Yeah, everything needs to be westernized.
No, not exactly. Like, yeah, I mean that too, but everything needs to be as quote unquote safe as possible, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, booby. No, can't show booby. It's like, oh, this character is using a bike. Oh, no, he needs to use a helmet. Oh, he's gonna die if he doesn't use a helmet. Oh.
Come on, kids are stupid. They're gonna imitate what there's on TV.
Yeah. Anyway.
every cartoon. So the Deke dub decided to go that route just to fit into a fad. Though I'm pretty sure that's just on Deke because I don't recall the Japanese version ending with a PSA.
Or in the case of the lesbian duo, maybe they can do something like,
Hey kids, you got boys and you got girls. Pick one.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous. And I've
child
seen
is a
plenty of
choice, you
bullshit
guys.
to this point already. You can't just pick what gender you're sexually attracted to. It's something that the individual has to develop naturally over time. That's like telling kids to pick which foods they like without realizing that taste buds develop over time. It's not as offensive as a lot of other stuff that's happened in this episode, but it's still a highlight that he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about.
and guys, that's as far as I got.
Oh, you think? I can't possibly imagine why.
I know there's more characters and more villains, but I specifically wanted to address the repeated formula that got Sailor Moon popular in the US.
Repeated formula? What are you retarded?
Dude, if you love Power Rangers, you're gonna love Sailor Moon. They have the same formula.
Yeah, it's the same thing, you guys.
Yeah, that's why Sailor Moon was so revolutionary. Because back in the day, like it was just one girl goes to like gets powers and then transforms to an older girl. Like that's kind of the whole stick from magical girls from the 70s and 60s. But like Sailor Moon came up and it's like, hey, what if we made Power Rangers, but it's all cute girls? And that's why it was so popular, because it was revolutionary. The formula changes.
Yeah.
And calling it like repetitive, it's kind of insulting. I mean, it's your opinion, you can think that it's repetitive, but say that it's bad because of that. It's not, dude, no, you don't know anything. Come on.
I mean, does Doug ever know anything?
Yeah, you're right. For a second, I forgot who we're talking about.
Like, look, I understand, right? I understand how you might see it as repetitive, but like it's just like a skeleton, you know? Like there's more going on.
Yeah, it's just a basis.
It's like, yeah, they fight a monster, like they transform and stuff, but there's like underlying stuff.
Yeah, the characters, they're different from one another. The relationships.
Like they develop and shit.
Yeah.
It's like it's like saying like we're watching Cowboy Bebop together. It's like saying, oh yeah, Cowboy Bebop is so repetitive. It's always the same thing. They find a guy and they want to take down the guy. What? So repetitive. It's like, yeah, if you put it in simple terms, like it's like that, yeah, sure, it's fucking repetitive. It's like, no, it's not what it is.
Hey, how do you say it? It's not honest. It's very dishonest to put it that way and just ignore everything else. It's very dishonest.
It's oversimplifying it just to make a stupid joke or some shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is dishonest. I agree completely. I wouldn't. I mean, it's even more than dishonest. I think it's more egregious than that. I think it's disingenuous.
Yes. That's a better word.
It's like, because there's a difference, which disingenuous. It's like you're doing it on purpose to hurt the other thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a better word.
Is it? Did I use that correctly? Let me define disingenuous. Okay. Define. Okay, not straightforward or candid, insincere or calculating, pretending to be unaware or unsophisticated, unaware or uninformed. Yeah, okay, it's pretty much what we said.
That's pretty much it. You got it.
Anyway.
You do realize the show's formula changed over time, don't you? In fact, that would actually explain why this review is such shit. He only ever talks about the first couple of episodes and judges the entire series based on that. Why are you making a case for the entire series when you barely saw the first season? That's like if I played God of War for an hour, then gave a review of the game based on my extremely limited knowledge of it. I can do it, but that doesn't make it a good idea.
One of the scouts discovers the plan or falls for it herself. Transformation takes place via reused sexually confusing animation.
Ugh.
While the Serena character is an annoying airhead, I will give her credit that she does at the very least have a character. It's not one that I like, but at the same time, it would have been easy just to make her a pretty face with no personality. But she clearly does have a personality and goes to big extremes. And they do make her look strange and bizarre just as much as they do make her look pretty half the time. And though, yeah, she can be self-centered...
She's just quirky. She's just silly, bro. Come on.
She's 14. I can confirm that's how 14-year-olds act.
I'm a girl. I can confirm.
Yeah.
Go on, go on.
I got my certificate of being a teenage girl.
And man.
Yeah, it's not. You can't really blame it. I mean, obviously you should explain why that's not okay, but you shouldn't really blame a child for acting like immature.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like, oh no, the child is acting like a child. Every six.
Oh, you left the server? What the hell?
Yeah.
God, I didn't even notice. What the fuck?
Well.
I'm sad now.
Oh, don't be sad.
I thought you were playing with me.
I told you I was disconnected.
Oh man.
I'm pretty sure I told you.
Did you plant a fucking million trees here?
Yes.
But why?
I was cutting a bunch of trees to make another house.
Okay.
And I didn't want to leave it with no trees.
But there weren't that many trees here.
Yeah, I planted a bunch of them.
Why? You're not explaining why.
Because I cut a bunch of them. On the other side of me.
I mean, you could have just planted where they were.
Oh, yeah.
Did you replant the trees you cut down?
No, of course I did. Come on.
Jesus. Fucking brainlet over here.
Yeah. Whatever.
Brainlet? Anyway.
Then I guess from what I understand, the character does get smarter as the series goes on. Or at the very least, braver.
Okay, so So, you just stated very clearly that all the time you spend talking about how stupid and cowardly she is, and all those jokes you made about how she's stupid and slutty was a complete waste of time. Look, either Serena does have a personality or doesn't have a personality. Pick one. You can't just say at the very end that she does have a personality when throughout this entire video you did nothing to show what kind of personality she has.
As for sexing up a 14-year-old, I think it's weird, but I guess there's always just gonna be cultural differences. And in all honesty, we've let out much worse.
Then what was the point of that ramble you went on about Japan's consent laws?
Jesus Christ.
Fights back and saves the day is always shown in a good light. So have fun with your little show, just keep it as far away as you can from me.
And that explains your lack of research. Jesus Christ.
I'm the Nostalgia Critic, I remember. Hello?
Mr. Critic, Dr. Hawk thinks he may have, like, finished that formula or whatever.
What the
Oh
fuck
boy,
is
this is a good
this?
one.
Lead on.
Guys, the episode is over. You can literally stop.
Alright, Critic, I know I messed up with the Sailor Moon formula, but I've come up with a formula that's even better.
Even better? You mean like more successful than Sailor Moon?
Really? We're still doing this shit?
3 times more successful.
Really?
Yes, according to my calculations, this should be the most famous, most profitable formula the world has ever known!
Okay, seriously, why is this still going on? Why are they continuing this mad scientist sketch? It feels like a throwaway joke that was just made for the opening, but now they want to stretch it out at the end just to artificially lengthen the episode's runtime. There is literally no reason for this episode to keep going. The review is over. You failed to give an informative analysis on Sailor Moon. Why are you still here?
Just to suffer?
Most profitable formula
Just
the
to
world has
suffer.
ever known! Good God, Dr. Hack! What is it? What is it? Okay. 3 online performers, 2 male, 1 female, remake movies with the help of a German cameraman and Irish immigrant.
Great. They made a self-reference.
I really do.
Yep.
This really is one of the absolute worst episodes of the Nostalgia Critic. And to say that about an episode that came out before he started doing those clipless sketches with Jurassic World, it really sets the bar to a new low. I would have said that there are no words to describe how bad it is and that it has to be witnessed, but when you put it in words, it ended up being so much worse than I remember. I don't know how he did it, but somehow Doug managed to have shit coming out of his mouth and was talking out of his ass at the same time. Even if you're not familiar
That's
with
a good
Sailor
one.
Moon, it's clear to anyone with eyes and ears that he didn't bother to do any research on the series in preparation for this episode. So much of this review is focused on how supposedly sexualized it is, and he barely goes into anything else. Even for the first couple of episodes, he was given a decent amount of material to work with. And this was seriously the best that he could come up with. And before anyone tries to say, oh, but he's not experienced in anime, you can't blame him for making a mistake when reviewing anime because he's unfamiliar with the genre. First off, that's not an acceptable excuse. Second,
It really
why
isn't.
didn't he just make this a collab with one of the other producers? Someone who's actually knowledgeable on Sailor Moon. Bennett the Sage, Jesu Otaku, Swede. Any of the other producers who are more familiar with anime. Hell, even Lindsay Ellis would have watched more than a handful of episodes. He didn't even need to make it a full-fledged crossover. Just have a cameo appearance here and there to explain something when he gets confused. For God's sake, he could have just Googled Sailor Moon or look at the wiki and read a basic facts on the show. Like how it was made by a woman, and not a man who wanted to exploit sex for profit. I wasn't expecting him to watch 200 episodes. I was just expecting him to be a little less clueless. He put virtually no effort into exploring why people liked it, which had very little to do with fighting the monsters. Was it because the characters were interesting, or the interactions between them were believable, or how the story was fun and well written and was turning up something better than a lot of shit that was coming out in America at the time? Whatever it was, it certainly wasn't because of anything sexy, because the show was being made with children in mind. No matter how you look at it, there is literally no excuse for why Doug didn't do any research on the series. Why do I say that? Because he clearly took the time to research Japan's consent laws. Apparently being ignorant about Sailor Moon didn't stop him from doing that just to get out of being held accountable for not knowing how old Serena was. And he even managed to fuck that up. The way he tries to elaborate and educate people on Japan's sex laws to show people how fan service affects people's understanding of sex is just so uncalled for. Especially since he doesn't even bother to talk about how the same things are present in America. He barely brings it up at all as a brief counter-argument for America's sensitivity towards homosexuality at the time. I get that Japan has some problems when it comes to dealing with sex, but Sailor Moon is not one of them. At least 95% of what Doug says in this review comes from a place of ignorance or just flat out not caring. He just bases his views on the most watered down and broken references he could think of.
Yeah.
The shows how he cared more about trying to be funny than give an informed retrospective on the series. Speaking of which, the comedy is just so painfully awful. Even without the cringy sketches and gross innuendos, so many of the jokes in this episode are based on information that's factually incorrect. Some of them weren't even thought out properly, like the joke he made about how obvious it was who Tuxedo Mask is, despite that he couldn't even recognize Sailor V, and she put less effort into hiding her identity than Tuxedo Mask did. The sense of humor that he goes for is childish, crude, and highly tasteless, and so much of it does revolve around the assumption that the characters and transformations were sexualized. I mean, does he even know that there's a character far younger than Serena who also partakes in these transformation sequences? I simply do not get for the life of me how Doug took any of this for being slutty or sexy or kinky or sexual strip teasing. Sailor Moon was not made to look like a slut at all, and it clearly shows. The designs of the Sailor Scout uniforms are based on basic school uniforms, and the transformations were fairly standard for what you'd expect from an anime of this genre. They were really cool and very well directed, and they were being done to show the Sailor Scouts gearing up for battle. They were never sexualized at any point. And I'm sorry, what the fuck was up with that comment about girls not liking Star Wars, or Doug being turned on by 14-year-old strip teases, or that sickening "I swear officer I didn't know how old she was" joke he made in the middle? Why did he think that any of this was okay? And why did anyone think that this was actually funny for even a second? There is nothing funny about this episode. The jokes have so many ugly implications behind them, and it just feels like Doug is making the same joke throughout the whole video. Sailor Moon is stupid and slutty. That is literally the way he describes the character throughout the entire video. Just fuck this episode. Fuck everything about it. It is just so much worse than how I remember it, and is without a doubt in the top 3 absolute worst episodes of the Nostalgia Critic. From the constantly getting details wrong, to the cringe-inducing sketches, to his miserably failed attempt to educate people on sex, to his clearly sexist views on the series, to his insulting portrayal of males having uncontrollable sex urges, to his creepy-ass jokes about finding the Sailor Scouts and their transformation sexually arousing, and how he tried to excuse himself for not knowing how old Serena was, then calling it Jailbait the Show at a convention. I wish there was a way I could burn this fucking episode from my memory. How is anyone still taking anything this absolute fucking moron ever said or is still saying seriously after that?
Does anyone take what it says seriously?
To find rules for acceptable
Yeah.
It's bad enough that he decided to talk about Sailor Moon despite knowing nothing about it, but to do so in such a gross and insulting manner is just unacceptable. I'm done. I am just so done with this episode. I need to go. I need to watch something else right now because I just feel so unclean from what I just witnessed. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. God, just fuck this show.
Well, that's the video.
That's the video.
Say bye, babe. Wait, hold on. Before we go, do you have any thoughts?
No, just please don't be a dick and talk about realistic, like, proportions in anime, unless the anime specifically, like, states that, yeah, we want you to be as close to reality as possible. Like, don't care about that. Don't be that guy. Please.
Okay, I guess.
Don't be a dick.
That's a lesson for life right there.
Yes.
Just don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. Come on.
It's really not that hard.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're gonna do we're still on the record, by the way. We're gonna do a reaction to The Wall.
Yes.
And I want to see what the fuck you think about it.
Yeah, I never actually watched the review. I only watched people talking about it. That must be perfect.
It's terrible. It's a terrible review. It's like, imagine this that we just watched, but like worse.
Yes.
Like everything that is wrong with this review is like exacerbated. It's like a million times worse.
Oh boy.
Because like he lacks so much context to what he says, you know? Like it's just so much wrong.
Jesus Christ. Imagine something so, if you manage to fuck up something so simple and straight to the point as Sailor Moon, I can only imagine the things that he says about something that is more, abstract.
New one. Yeah, yeah. That's a good word. Abstract. The wall is abstract.
Yes.
Look, man. We can leave this talk for another time, but I'm just gonna end the video now. Say bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.